We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order of the Kinney County Appraisal District Board of Directors. The time is now 5 p.m. It is Tuesday, August the 12th, 2025. And we're at the Kinney County Appraisal District Office. And we have an agenda that's been duly posted according to law. And we do have all members present, full quorum. And so we will call our meeting to order. And the next item for consideration is approval of the May 7th, 2025 budget hearing minutes. And then we will also consider the public meeting minutes of that same day, May 7th, 2025. Consideration of those minutes of budget hearing on May 7th, 2025. Do we have any additions or corrections to those? If there be none, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes.
Second. We have a motion made second to approve the minutes of the public hearing on May the 7th, 2025. Any other discussion on the motion? If there be none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries without opposition. Next, consideration of the public meeting minutes of May 7th, 2025. Do you have any additions or corrections to those minutes?
I think on number 5, it should say that we approve the resolution. What resolution about that?
Anything else? If there be nothing else, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
With that amendment?
Got a motion?
With that,
Yeah.
with that amendment, yeah. That resolution.
Did you make a motion?
No, is it gonna, well, second it, but then it'd be amended for the resolution.
We have making a motion.
See if I can understand what you're trying to do. I'm not following. Got a motion to be considered to adopt the minutes of that group. Got a second for that? Did we not?
We're waiting for a motion and a second.
That's what I thought.
Those, okay.
So we don't have a motion yet. You're offering a resolution of some sort or an amendment to that motion, which has not yet been made.
Yeah.
I don't follow what you're trying to do. I can see what we're trying to do, but I don't understand what you're trying to do.
It's just the wording on number 5. It just says to retain excess funds. We approved a resolution, the word resolution. I know we approved it was a motion to approve it, retain the funds. But it was a resolution that we approved for
Motion.
an actual resolution.
Second and adopted by the unanimous vote of the directors. Retain access. And I don't know. That's number 5. That's what it says, number 5.
A resolution to retain excess funds. So there would be the inclusion of the word resolution before to retain excess funds.
So it's a resolution and not a motion.
Yes.
That's right. So that's just correcting the minutes.
Yes.
So that's what you're saying, name all these. Won't you have the minutes correct?
Yeah, just to say resolution.
We strike the word, motion, and add the word, resolution. Right? It was a resolution.
To retain excess funds.
I wouldn't hear it.
Well, it's a resolution of the group would be something that was voted on.
That's
And
right.
resolved to do it.
That's right.
So resolution to retain excess funds. Is that all?
Is that the correct wording?
We're on top of the thing. On the phone, you'll find.
It's a decision of the group, a resolution of the group.
Yeah, discussion, approval, resolution, on retention of excess funds.
Was there a written resolution?
No, it was just.
Or was it?
No, it wasn't a written
It
resolution.
was just the actions of the board to resolve that.
No, here's what we signed. Yes, there was a written resolution. Sorry. That's what it was. Yeah.
Resolution adopting authorization and acceptance of retention of excess.
Probably we should read just the way you.
Resolution adopting. I know we do it. The action of the board is the resolution to do that. It's headed out by the word resolution. I don't care how it's handled. Yeah, it's your call, Mr. Chairman.
So what's the pleasure?
It's just a
I'll
message.
make a motion to approve the minutes with the resolution.
Which would be resolution to retain excess funds. And Marla seconds the motion. Any discussion, further discussion on the motion? There be none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries to adopt opposition. Next, we want to welcome everyone to our meeting, and it's at this time an opportunity for public comment. We welcome you to our meeting. Anyone want to offer any public comment?
I don't want to go first, but there's only one. So, manageable. Okay, Chairman Ward, directors, Chief Appraisal Tate. In one of the last school board meetings, there was discussion of, I believe, the resolution that was passed in the meeting to retain the excess funds. The description in the school board meeting, which I know is not y'all's meeting, was kind of vague as to how those funds were retained and where they came from. I had a different understanding, by Travis Huey, Kinney County Post. So I had a different understanding of how those funds were brought into the appraisal district and then how the resolution was then stated to retain those funds. Director Guzman, and I use director in both forms of the school board and the appraisal district, stated that those funds were retained and then spent on the county road and the addition of a staff member. He also stated that he would not have voted for those funds if he had understood how they were going to be used. So my question is, at some point in the meeting or at some point in the future, can the public have a better understanding of where those funds come from, which I understand there's an appraisal piece and then a collection piece that the taxing entities actually contract with the appraisal district with, and that there was a budget line item or line items that were not fully executed, so those funds were retained, which makes sense to me with being a zero budget entity. And how the board moves forward with a situation where the funds that may need to be retained in this office could benefit another entity, and a board member also can vote to not have the retention of those funds here and then push them to an entity that he also presides over. And maybe that's more of a legal question, but I did just want to bring it in front of the board to let you know that the public wants to understand how the budget works. And I think it's all better for us to understand that this appraisal district is much different than appraisal districts from, say, in San Antonio or Houston, where they don't actually do the collection. And so I'll just leave that with y'all. And if I need to follow up for a further comment on that, I can. But if that could be addressed in one of if it fits into one of the agenda items, then wonderful. Thank you.
Would you comment on that, on what he said? Well, the excess fund thing, there's no such thing as excess funds in our operation. If it's got a nomenclature as that, then call it that if you want. But there's not any need to worry that money is not being spent in accordance with the needs of the community and the people here. Now, it's just a play on words is all you're doing. You know that any money that we have at the end of the year that we did not spend that we budgeted, you know where it goes? It's not excess fund, it goes back to the taxpayer. So excess funds, it's just a play on words. Would you comment further on it?
Well, the situation was that we were frugal in our budget,
There we are.
and there was a certain amount of money that had not gotten used in allocated areas, and that's when we requested that you all agreed to retain it for the purpose, because the county had approached us to help and a portion of paving this street in front of our office, which we had agreed to. We would have, had we not had the excess funds, when the time came around to help with the county, that would have come out of our contingency fund, which is there to help us operate in case one of the entities is not able to pay us. So there is a small portion, and for stuff like litigation or legal stuff that comes up, we have to have a certain amount. So we would have used it out of that fund. This year, we had been frugal in our budget. We didn't spend everything that had been allotted to the different areas. So the street was considered, and instead of bringing Lori on in January, we went ahead and moved her up 6 months and brought her on in June with that money. So as you say, it's not the taxpayers' money isn't going to waste. It's just getting reallocated.
Nor is it being misused.
No.
And if you walked away from that meeting, you were in assume you were in a meeting, sir.
Yes, sir. I was in the Brackett ISD school board meeting, and I watched it online. So that's where the statement was made.
Resolution?
And for clarification, the streets are cities, not the counties.
Correct.
The county simply entered into an agreement to utilize funds to help the city.
Yeah.
And so it was,
That's a dumb question.
there was an invitation for
What we
others to participate and as well, but that didn't come.
We were more than happy to do it
Yeah.
because it
And
does.
it's not an every year project.
No. And it does affect the people that come in this office on a daily basis.
That's what happened.
Anything else under public
Well, I
comment?
think the question is, why did Mr. Guzman put us in such a bad light at the school district?
Would you repeat that for me? My hearing aids are up.
Are we
Hard to
Mr.
go.
Chairman, are we jumping the agenda?
We're in public comment.
Okay.
Yes.
State that again. Herb didn't hear you.
I didn't.
I said, why did Mr. Guzman place us in such a bad light at the school district meeting?
Maybe he needs to answer that, not me.
I
wasn't at either meeting.
I think a bad light is not a correct phrase in my opinion. I just saw we don't get attachments on on our agenda, that letter being prepared, school district, indicating Mr. Tate prepared a letter and is gonna send, wants to send it to the school district saying that I misrepresented this office position to approve the resolution of the funds. And I stand by what I state because it's recorded. And to surmise it was, I said, the school district was not aware that the fifth of their money was gonna be spent. That was left over was they weren't even aware the money was gonna be spent in that fashion. So I haven't done any investigative reporting, but I'm on the assumption that the other entities didn't know, with the exception of the county. There's MUD, there is city. Who else am I missing? MUD, city, county.
The two cities, the county and school.
Water district.
Yeah, so I told the district, I read verbatim the resolution that I signed. I approved it. It wasn't until 24 hours later, 48 hours later, that I gave some thought to it. And I, as a school board member, I told the district, were you aware of this? And they absolutely said they had no knowledge that the extra funds were going to be spent the way they were going to be spent. So I said, well, okay. The superintendent, the school district chose to get a review of it through the school's attorneys. And the school attorney said, Mr. Tate has the authority to do that. And that's all I represented at the school board.
So let me ask you a question, sir. So after you found out from your lawyer that it was
Who are you,
allocated
sir?
properly,
We're on record. Who are you?
my name is Steve DeGeorge.
Okay.
I'm here with public comment.
Thank you, sir.
So you found out from your lawyer before the meeting, which you just stated, that the allocation was correct. Why did you even bring it up? If you already knew prior to the meeting, the school board meeting, that what you were requesting to find out was correct and what we did, or what the appraisal district did, why would you even bring it up?
Well, the school was not aware of it. The school superintendent was not aware of it.
You
Yeah.
discussed it with the school
No, I
superintendent,
spoke-
with your lawyers.
Correct, but the school board was not aware of it.
Yeah, we saw that in the board meeting. You discussed it with the school.
The school board was not aware of it until I presented it to the school board. So
But
they
there was no
became aware
reason
of
to
it.
bring it up because it was allocated properly.
So Mr.
And that's what
Guzman,
I said, and that's what I said.
Mr. Guzman, how
That's right.
did these funds that were not spent, not excess funds, how did they come to be? What are the funding sources? My understanding of the funding sources are that there is a portion paid by each taxing entity, MUD included, which I sit on the board of,
Correct.
and we pay for collections, which is in Texas, how the appraisal districts work. This appraisal district then also takes on the responsibility of collection. In other places in Texas, not in rural counties, the school district itself, the utility districts, the city, the county are all responsible for doing that. There's specialized software, credentials that have to have by the people who administer that, postage, hours collecting people, dealing with the public, making sure that they have access to your office, like getting the street done helps have here at this office. So when those two pieces are contract, right? So there's a contract for those two pieces. That's where the fee comes to the appraisal district. So when they get their fees for doing all that work that I just listed, and they have not spent all of that money because they did not need all of that money, that's them being frugal in their budget. So why would you oppose them spending that to reinvest in the entity that collects the taxes under contract and does the appraisals under contract?
I understand it the way you do. They collect the school district, the city, MUD, or the customer. I was not aware until that day, until afterwards I gave thought to it, that it was excess money that was left over. I understood it to be excess money left over from what was collected. And that money was collected to be spent to pave the road and for an employee. And I proved it.
You
I proved it.
recently did a project. You recently did a project to replace all the windows in your home, maybe a few years ago.
Well,
Well, okay. I have a roof. I'm putting a roof on my house. Contractor says it's $10,000. At the end of the day, labor doesn't show up. Materials are cheaper because they got it here instead of there because they're already in Del Rio, and it only costs them $8,000. Do I get my money back? I had a contractor with the roofer for $10,000.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is in this situation, the school district was not aware.
Did the lawyer say that they would normally, in any instance, be made aware of those expenses that are now money that
No,
sits at the budget?
the attorney succinctly said there's nothing wrong with it. That was the end of it. But the rest of I shared the information with the rest of the school.
And you left the opinion that the money was tax money. Like
What was
tax
it?
money.
Was that tax money?
No,
Not gonna last tax.
Well, don't you collect the taxes?
That's school
yeah, but it
district.
doesn't
That's
come
our
out of
job, is
that
to
money.
collect the taxes, but we get paid by contract. It's illegal, highly illegal for us to retain any taxes collected. We do not retain taxes. We function under contract.
Okay.
And so the implication, and I'll deal with that later, but no, we do not, never, ever. I can go to jail for retaining tax money. We do not retain tax money. We retain contract money. Period.
If the entities knew that was happening with that money, they would have known about it. I wouldn't have to say anything. The only ones that knew were the county.
No,
It was part of our
no,
budget.
there was no discussion with the county about it.
Well, you gave the county $15,000.
There had been previous discussions about this office helping with this board. The whole board was aware of it prior to your being on the board, that the county had requested that we, as the appraisal district, to help pay a portion of the street that's in front of our
And
building.
that I was not aware of at the time, but I did approve it. I wasn't aware of that information.
If I may add, just, I don't want to exclude any other member of the public who would like to speak, but, if I may, in a little bit of history, the county has led the effort for a number of years to pave streets. And, we had entities that, participated at that time, including churches. It was very, what I would describe as well received by the community, including those, particular, entities, the churches, that participated to a real benefit to the overall effort to pave streets. And, then, we were able to utilize, grant funds that were left over to pave and do the drainage work around the school, the entire school plant. And at that time, there was more than one entity that participated in that effort to pave the streets around the school. We had viewed that as a priority because the drainage was really bad on the north side. It had been since I was in school 10 years ago. And so we felt like it was a worthy project for the county took the lead. And that particular job was done. So we have I think it's important for us to know where we've been and where we are. It's just that it has been a non-controversial when efforts are made, and we all know the streets need fixing. And to make an effort in good faith, and there have been those that benefited, and certainly at that particular time, it was, I think the grant was 135,000 that was used, and then the county added to that to complete the project around the school. So what we see is that in a small community, when there is what I would describe as a very serious need for improvements, oftentimes entities are able to work together and accomplish things that are very beneficial to the community. And this in particular that I'm making reference to was the school district, and which we all support. We We want to help all we can. And so I think it's important to know, the old saying is those who refuse to learn from history are destined to repeat it. And I think that in this case, it's important for us to know this has been an ongoing effort for a number of years, and it's something to celebrate. Folks, it's time that we celebrate those things that are beneficial to the community, and look for the good.
Yes, sir.
Look for the positivity. And there's so many positive things that are going on, and not just in the city itself, but in the county as a whole. And we need to look at it from that standpoint. Well, it really did help things for us to do this. And so I wanted to share that because I felt like it's a fact. It's everything I've said is, is the truth. And so with that in mind, let's, we're going to have to get to the point where we're positive. Can we see something good? Don't look for the bad, look for the good. And that's the only way that we can bring about what we would describe as positive changes, whether it be in the city, the county as a whole, Fort Clark, Spofford, wherever it might be. When a community comes together, good things happen. When a community is splintered and divided, the old saying is, a house divided against itself can't stand. And biblical proportions. And so, anyway, anyone else have anything to add? If not, we'll move on to the next item.
Yeah, we need to, everybody needs to take the high road, not the low road.
My name's Allison, and I would like to just ask a general question. Is it common practice for appraisal districts to get permissions to save from entities in regards to how those funds are spent?
Not if it's within our
I
budget.
don't know who's supposed to answer that question. Who's that directed to?
Anybody that can answer it. It kind of seems it seems as though Mr. Guzman is stating that because the school didn't know about those funds being spent for that, he feels that the school should have been notified
Contingency budget.
of that. And if that's the case, is that common practice? Would we at that point notify every entity that we have that those leftover funds would be spent for this or that? Would the decision be up to the entities to make that decision, or would that fall within the appraisal district?
They'll make things clear.
But I don't know if that's necessarily the way that it would work, just because it makes it clear.
The correct procedure was followed.
And if you're in a meeting, Steve DeGeorge, if you're in a meeting and you vote on something that you don't know about, you might want to ask some questions to clarify what you don't understand. And then that way you can either abstain from voting or vote against it or vote for it. And that's the way to really handle things when you don't understand, is to ask questions. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
Any other public comment?
Oh, I could go on and on. I don't know. I'm not even wound up yet.
You're not, but go ahead, Judge.
No, I'm done.
I need a cup.
I could say some more things that I've got to accomplish. Let's go forth.
He likes having
This
it
is
out.
item number 4. Our county activity report.
You have your list there before you. First of all, I'd like to recap year to date, October 1 through August, or through the day. We're at 75%, which is right on target. We've got one quarter to build. It's in your packet. You can look at the details on your sheet, which is this one. And this. Then the next one is collections for the tax year 24. As of August 12th, we are at 96.71% of collection. Last year at this time, we were at 96.77. So the number's pretty good. And like I've always mentioned in the past, if we get over 95%, we're doing really good. Just the nature of the beast, delinquency, people passing, people moving, deferrals, stuff like we will never collect 100%. So the fact that we got that good, we're doing really good. And in our protest season, we had a total of 48. In actuality, those are the ones that were filed. We had many more protests or people that were wanting to protest that were settled in informal settings. Last year, we had 90 protests, and they're just a breakdown. 15 of the protests ended in a settlement or waiver. 2 had a final order by the ARB. They didn't get to do a whole lot but visit this year. 11 failures to appear and 20 withdrawals. And some of those withdrawals will happen in the last hour before their appointment, and withdrawals, well, ARB's got to show up. And, so they end up doing a lot of nothing on those days when there's a bunch of withdrawals. So the appraisal roll was certified July 17th. The truth and taxation rates have been sent to the entities so they can work on their tax rates. At this moment, we're waiting for them to get their tax rates back to us in September. The reappraisal plan has begun. Work has already started on the fort for 26 different units. What, you're almost done with your first unit? Yeah. So that's getting done. The new carport will be installed later, hopefully this month. We got permission from the county to put a pad just beyond the carport. They loaned us that portion of land. As long as there's no permanent construction on there, so there's going to be one of those metal carports put up to match what we've got. So all of us can get off the suite, make it more convenient for customers coming in. Then on your sheet, the last thing is the office will be closed August 20th. The staff were all going to San Antonio by invitation of Linebarger for a rules and laws update. After every legislative cycle, there is a dinner that's offered by the law firm, which we get continuing education credit hours for our certification. So Gene will be out that week. The remaining 4 of us will go to San Antonio on the 20th, and the office will be closed. And then what I forgot to put on your sheet of paper is the property value study has been initiated. Our new property value study guy showed up. They sent a supervisor to make sure everything went smoothly this year after the debacle a couple of years ago. And so Mr. Edward Ponders has been here, and I found out due to that situation, there are new rules for field appraisers for the comptroller's office when they visit communities now due to what happened here. I then later got a call from someone else from the comptroller's office about the property value study. Apparently, we have hit a threshold of 5% of the total levy now being business personal property, and they're going to do that. Begin to question that. Supervisor got a hold of me and kind of explained the situation, and they said they'd get back to me, but I haven't heard back from them yet. So the property value study is currently being worked on by the comptroller's office, and so that's pretty much my report for this cycle. If anyone has any questions on any of that.
Any question or comment on the activity? There being none, then we'll move to item number 5, which is discussion approval of the letter to the Brackett ISD.
Again, this goes back to what's already been discussed. I think the school board needs to fully understand that we do not keep money from collections. That is absolutely not what we do. The money that we use that is in our budget strictly comes from contracts with the taxing entities. And I just ask if it's your pleasure, we'll do it. If it's not your pleasure, that's fine. If you want to table it and you all watch the video of the school board meeting and what was said, so you won't hear it from my mouth, I'm fine with that. I'm just very disturbed, might you say, that the implication
Goodness, demand.
that was left is that we keep collecting funds. And that is not what we do. And so I just, my request is that that be made clear. And if there's a different wording, like I said, it's at your pleasure. I'm just very frustrated with that situation. It's a direct accusation, and I don't feel it can be let stand. And so at least it's on the record here at this point. So I'll leave it at your.
Mr. Chairman, since Mr. Tate indicated that the school board may not understand the totality of what he just explained or any other thing, I would invite you to come speak publicly to the school board and explain yourself in that sense, so that there's no misunderstandings in the future. We just talked about no dividing. We just talked about taking the high road. So that would be, he's the public official, and I would encourage his board to ask him to go up to the school and explain himself in that sense. There's no misunderstandings in the future. I read the resolution. That's the way I understood it. And I said, and I summarized it, like I said, nothing illegal about it. But the board was not aware of it. They weren't clear of it. They fully didn't understand it, but I explained it as best I could. So he's being the expert. We're the board. We can ask him. I think it'd be a good idea. We ask him. We request that he go talk to the school board. We can have Ms. Diaz put him on the agenda so he can give further instruction as to the process.
You need to have the superintendent come to our meetings and explain things that's going on at the school board that we're unfamiliar with.
No, sir. I'm talking about.
Then why are you asking that he go to the superintendent
No,
and
the
to the
school
school
board.
board meeting?
Because he
It's the same thing.
Motion.
Well, all I'm saying is that, if he thinks the school board doesn't understand, well, I would invite him to come talk to us.
Well, if they don't
That's your-
understand what we're doing, they're welcome to come to our meeting. It's a public meeting. And if he wants to go to the school board meeting, if it's his choice to go there because it's a public meeting, then he should do so. And if you want to ask him to go as a friend, you can ask him to go as a friend, but he's going to tell you no. And I tell you the same thing. I let the school board do what the school board does. It's their business to operate appropriately. And that's why we put school board members in the school board so that they will operate appropriately.
And you are correct, and that's why I shared the information with the school board.
You thought you needed to share the information with school board.
What's the reason?
I move that we approve the letter as written that we have in front of us.
We have a second.
I'll take it.
We have a second. Any discussion on the motion to approve the letter that has been presented to be sent to the Brackett ISD trustees and Superintendent Eliza?
I would only ask that my name be taken out because I can't sign it.
You just don't have to sign it.
Any other discussion on the motion to approve? There be none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries without opposition. Okay,
I need everyone to sign it and pass it on.
Yeah, you can talk about it.
item number 6 is executive session to update the Fort Park Springs lawsuit against the appraisal district, and particularly concerning the attorney fees related to that. After the executive session, we will basically return into open session to consider items number 7 and 8. We'll go ahead and call the meeting back in open session at 6 o'clock p.m. We have taken no action in executive session. And so we will proceed with the next item for consideration, which is approval of lawsuit attorney payment.
And at this time, the only bill that we have is for $312 for the work that has been done up until this moment. Review and response of discovery extension, update, discovery response, and review of discovery response documents. So
I'll make a motion to pay that.
We have a motion made to approve payment.
I'll second.
Second by Marla. Any discussion on the motion to approve the payment to the attorney to represent the Appraisal District? Being none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Say. And abstain? Okay. And Mr. Guzman abstains, the rest are voted for. Next item, item number 8, is discussion approval of the quarterly modified bill report.
Like this quick and easy. I move that we approve the quarterly modified bill report. Somebody second it.
again, this is just a report that shows plus or minuses due to exemptions that are made throughout the year. You all have to approve those. So the adjustment is a minus of $2,300.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Her bound.
Motion made, seconded to approve the modified bill report. Any discussion on the motion? If there be none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries without opposition. Our next item of consideration, need everybody's signatures and don't leave.
Yes.
Your next is consideration to adjourn our meeting.
I move to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. We have a second, John. We have a second.
He was busy.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a second right on. Any discussion on the motion to adjourn? There be none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the motion, any opposed? And the motion carries without opposition, and the time is right at 6:05, I believe. And close enough.
That's good.
Thank you all very much. Thank you for being here.
Next meeting, December 9th.
Yeah, whatever's on the calendar, unless we have to modify it. Thank you.
I think it's page number 30.
Yeah.
And away we go.
Thank you all.